Hi, this is Karen at Snickerdoodle Designs, and today I'd like to take a look at Scrubby Sliders that are available in both Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. I really like that there are multiple ways to accomplish most tasks in Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. Sometimes it's hard to remember all of the shortcuts that Adobe provides for us, and the most obvious way to achieve our goal or technique sometimes becomes a habit, and then we forget about any shortcuts available to us. One of the shortcuts that I forgot about for a while was Scrubby Sliders, and so I thought it would be fun today to take a look at them in case you're not familiar with them or if you forgot about them. So let's bring up this text and we're going to be working with that today. And let's start by looking at the opacity slider at the top of the layers panel. The obvious way to change the opacity of a layer is to click on the down pointing arrow, and then we'll see this pop-up slider. We need to click on the triangle and drag it to the left to reduce the opacity. And you can see the opacity percentage is changing here, as well as the opacity of the text. Let's bring it back up to 100%. That slider stays there, and we have to click anywhere on our document or the canvas to get rid of it. But there's an easier way to access that opacity, and that's by using a Scrubby Slider. If we just hover over the label next to the value, we'll see our cursor change into the hand, and that means that there is a Scrubby Slider available to us. To activate that, we just need to left click our mouse and keep it held down while we drag to the left, and that will change that percentage. We don't have to stay by the label, we can go anywhere and it will still work. When we're done, let's take it back up to 100%. Just release your mouse and you don't have anything to get rid of, you're just done. One of my favorite places to use the Scrubby Slider though is in the character panel. My character panel is docked because I use it a lot, but if yours is not, you can come up to Window and click on Character and it will open for you. I would like the author's name to be a little smaller font than that of the quote itself. I could go ahead and I'm going to click on that layer and make that active and come up to the font options here, click on the down pointing arrow, and then decide on what font size I wanted. Now this is originally set at 48. I would be guessing at what size I want. I don't really know. So go 24, well that might work. Let's look at 14, no that's way too small. But by using a Scrubby Slider, again I'm hovering over the label and I see ones available to me, I can just move that to the right to make it a little bit bigger, to the left to make it a little smaller, and I can see in real time exactly what size I'm getting. I think that's fine, and so I'm going to leave it and click on the check mark to commit it. So I really like that I can see the real-time effect. Now let's bring this up and you can see that I have another problem here. The G is affecting the D in Waldo, so I need to fix that now. So what I think I'll do, bring this back down a little bit for you to see. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the whole text. I'm going to go to my character panel and I'm going to change the leading. The leading is this first option right here, and you see when I hover over it I get the Scrubby option. And this is going to adjust the space between the lines. So I will left click, and if I drag it to the left it will decrease, and that's not what I want, so I need to drag it to the right to increase the spacing between those lines. And that looks pretty good to me, and I will commit that, and that's much better. Now it still looks a little odd to me. I think what I might like to do is change the tracking now, but I only want to change the tracking of Ralph Waldo Emerson. So I'm going to highlight that text and I'll come over here to the tracking option, and again I have a Scrubby Slider available, and in real time I can go ahead and move that to the right and get it exactly where I want it. And I like that. That looks good. So take a look around Photoshop. Photoshop Elements works the same way. You might be surprised to find Scrubby Sliders hiding in all sorts of places. So have fun finding them and seeing what you can do with them. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.